14 years ago, Lexus built an engine so good that the company hired acousticians to tune it. Not engineers. Acousticians. They shaped the intake like an instrument. They ran the sound into the cabin on purpose. And when the last of the 500 cars was finished, in December of 2012, they switched the line off and never built another one. This is what came next, and the hardest question it asks has nothing to do with how fast it is. In 2009, a prototype ran up a narrow strip of tarmac in West Sussex at the Goodwood Festival of Speed. Nobody had driven the production car yet. What they had was the noise, and the noise was enough. In July of 2026, on the same hill, Lexus did it again. Same hill, same event. 17 years later. Lexus drew that parallel itself in its own press release, except this time standing beside a pair of V8 race cars. The new one was almost impossible to hear. The new LFA is electric, and that single fact turns the most celebrated thing about the original into the central engineering problem of its successor. Because if what made the first car legendary was a sound, what exactly is the second one? Lexus does not fully know yet. Remarkably, it has said so out loud. On the 5th of December 2025, at Woven City in Japan, Lexus world premiered the Lexus LFA Concept, a battery electric sports car, 2 seats, developed alongside Toyota Gazoo, racing's GR-GT and its racing sibling, the GR-GT3. Note the name because almost everyone gets it wrong. It is not the LFA2. Lexus has never called it that. It is the LFA Concept. The same 3 letters as before, deliberately. There are 3 cars here, and they are constantly confused for each other. The Lexus LFA Concept is the electric one, the subject of this film. The Lexus LFR is a different car entirely, a twin turbocharged V8 hybrid, also arriving for 2027, and the Toyota GR-GT is Toyota's own V8 hybrid, which shares the electric LFA's structure but not its powertrain. Almost every specification you will read attached to the new Lexus supercar belongs to one of those other 2. It is worth being careful. Here is what Lexus has actually published. A light, high-rigidity, all-aluminium body frame, 4,689mm long, 2,040 wide, 1,194 tall, which is to say lower than almost anything you will meet on a road. A wheelbase of 2,725mm, shared exactly with the GR-GT and the GR-GT3. 3 stated priorities, in Lexus's own words: a low centre of gravity, low weight with high rigidity, and the pursuit of aerodynamic performance. That is the entire technical disclosure. All of it. The reason given for building it is not a market opportunity. It is a Shinto one. Lexus invokes Shikinen Sengu, the principle by which a thing is rebuilt so that the people who know how to build it can teach the people who do not. The skill survives by being used. Toyota's chairman, Akio Toyoda, the man who races under the name Marizo, has argued for years that certain car-making techniques must be handed to a younger generation before the generation that holds them retires. The lineage Lexus names is short and deliberate. The Toyota 2000 GT, the LFA, and now this. The car is explicitly a teaching exercise. Which brings us to the strangest thing about this car. 8 months after its reveal, and a year before it is meant to go on sale, Lexus has not published its power output, or its torque, or its battery capacity, or its chemistry, or how many motors it has, or whether they drive 2 wheels or 4. No 0 to 60, no top speed, no range, no charging rate, no curb weight, no price, no production number. For a car of this kind at this stage, that is close to unheard of. And it is not evasion. It is a car that genuinely is not finished. What Lexus has talked about at length is sound. Yukihiro Yukita runs the LFA program. Asked at Goodwood why buyers resist expensive electric sports cars, he did not blame the technology. He said this: "What I get from the market is that a BEV is fake, because we imitate the sound of an internal combustion engine, but that's not something we want to do." And then more precisely, we're not just wanting to replicate the sound of the engine, we want to redesign the sound itself. He also named the thing an electric supercar loses, without softening it. We lose the sound or the vibration, which gives a big impact. That is an unusually honest position. Imitation, he is arguing, is the problem, not the solution. And yet, when the prototype ran the Goodwood Hill in July, what the crowd heard was a synthesized note, loosely modelled, by most accounts, on the original car's V10 and paired with simulated gear shifts. One outlet called it a fake V8 roar. Others reported that in person, the car was very nearly silent, its own soundtrack swallowed by the genuine V8s running beside it. So the program's leader says imitation is what makes an electric car feel false, and the prototype imitates. This is not a company caught out. It is a company that has not settled an argument with itself. In public, a year from production, which is a more interesting thing to watch than a finished answer would be. Shogo Kasamatsu led the concept's design. His account of the original LFA is worth hearing because it explains the shape of this one. The LFA itself, he said, was a very humble design, very artistic, and based on its true function. So this car was drawn to express a message rather than a corporate design language, which is why it looks quieter than the Toyota it shares a floor with. And on the wider problem, Kasamatsu was blunt. Many people don't believe that battery power is exciting right now. Not that it isn't, that people don't believe it is. Those are different problems, and only one of them can be solved with engineering. You may have read that this car will be the first Lexus with solid-state batteries. It is worth watching how that claim travelled. Autocar reported it with a hedge. The car was understood to be using them. Another outlet then reported Autocar. A third stated it as fact and added a range figure of over 400 miles and a 0 to 60 of just over 2 seconds. No source supports those last two numbers. Lexus has confirmed none of it. Toyota's solid-state program is real, and it is aimed at 2027 to 2028. It has also been promised for 2021, then 2022, then 2025. Treat it as a lead, not as a specification. There is a harder question underneath all of this, and Yukita named it himself. The lack of demand for expensive electric sports cars is, in his words, our biggest challenge. Not the battery, not the software. The demand. Lexus is building a halo car for a category that buyers have so far declined to want. And it is doing so knowing that the last time it tried this, it took 10 years, sold 500 cars at $375,000 each, and was widely judged a commercial failure before it became a legend. Kasamatsu says the concept is almost what customers will see in showrooms, and that the production car is almost finished. A launch is planned for 2027, and there is one detail from Goodwood that suggests how Lexus feels about it. The LFA Concept was entered as a static display. It was not scheduled to move. It ran the hill anyway. Unannounced, 6 drivers, across 4 days, including the World Rally driver Elfyn Evans and the 3-time Le Mans winner Kazuki Nakajima. Companies that are unsure of a car do not do that. The first LFA took 10 years, and its makers spent a great deal of that time on a problem no spreadsheet asked them to solve: what the car should sound like. The second one has inherited that problem in its purest form. There is no engine to tune now. There is only a decision about whether to imitate what is gone or to make something that has never existed and ask people to love it. Lexus has not made that decision yet. In 2027, we will hear what it chose. The first car was remembered for a sound. This one will be remembered for what it does with the silence.